Today, we shall learn about ionization of acids and bases. The dissociation constant of a weak acid or ionization constant Ka. The larger the value of Ka, stronger is the acid. Molar concentration of BOH into molar concentration of H2O. Derivation for this relationship, it is not there in your syllabus. Hello my dear students, welcome back to 7th session on the chapter Equilibrium. Last class we studied about Lewis theory of acids and bases. Also we solved some of the numericals. Today we shall learn about ionization of acids and bases. Before I go into the acids and bases, first we learn about the ionic product of water, which is also known as Kw. Okay? Water is a weak electrolyte, means some amount of water molecules will dissociate to give H plus ion and OH minus ions. So I can consider a water molecule, it will dissociate to give H plus and OH minus, and these both can react back to give the water molecule. So there is an equilibrium state which is attained in this reaction because it's a weak electrolyte. Now, if I apply law of mass action, then K is equal to, I can write it as the product of the molar concentration of the products. Which are the products? H plus and OH minus. So, molar concentration of H plus into molar concentration of OH minus divided by the molar concentration of water. Now, this molar concentration of water, I am going to take it on the other side of the equation. So, equilibrium constant into the molar concentration of water, we call it as Kw, which is ionic product of water. So, ionic product of water is product of molar concentration of H plus ion and molar concentration of OH minus ion. What we can tell? Ionic product of water is product of molar concentration of hydrogen ion and hydroxyl ion in water or any other aqueous solution. We can tell ionic product of water. Okay. So, ionic product of water at 298 Kelvin is equal to 10 to the power minus 14 molar square, or I can also write as H plus ion into OH minus ion, that is the molar concentration. If I multiply at 298 Kelvin only at this particular temperature, it is equal to 10 to the power minus 14. Okay, this is how it is calculated, and it's a standard value at 298 Kelvin. Ionic product of water is equal to 10 to the power minus 14. Okay. Next we'll see the dissociation constant of a weak acid or ionization constant Ka. So, Ka is what? It's the ionization constant of an acid, that is weak acid, or dissociation constant of a weak acid. So, here also I am going to consider a weak acid Ha. Okay. So, when a weak acid is added to water, it will ionize to give A minus ion and H plus ion, which is accepted by water to form H3O plus. So, what will happen? Ha will actually dissociate to give H plus ion and A minus ion, but because there is water H2O, this H plus ion is accepted by water to form H3O plus ion. So, now this one is at equilibrium, and if I apply law of mass action, K is equal to molar concentration of H3O plus ion into molar concentration of A minus ion, that is the products, divided by molar concentration of Ha and molar concentration of water. Now, this water molecule, I'll take it on the other end. So, K into molar concentration of water, we call it as Ka, which is the dissociation constant of an weak electrolyte or a weak acid. Okay, which is equal to molar concentration of H3O plus into A minus divided by molar concentration of the undissociated acid molecules. Okay, so what is the definition of Ka? Ka is defined as the ratio of product of molar concentration of the dissociated ions to the molar concentration of the undissociated acid molecules at a given temperature. So what is it? Ka is equal to the product of molar concentration of the dissociated ions divided by molar concentration of the undissociated acid molecules at a given temperature. Now, the larger the value of Ka, stronger is the acid. Smaller the value of Ka, weaker is the acid. So, what is it? As the Ka value increases, acidic strength also increases. Okay? So, that's about the dissociation constant of a weak acid, Ka. Next, we'll be studying about the dissociation constant or the ionization constant of a weak base, which is called as Kb. For this, we will consider a reaction or a base BOH. When it is mixed with water, it will dissociate to form B plus ion and OH minus ion. And the system is at equilibrium, or it will attain equilibrium. Then I will apply the law of mass action. So K is equal to molar concentration of the product B plus into molar concentration of OH minus divided by molar concentration of BOH into molar concentration of H2O. Okay, now this H2O, I will take it on the other side. So it becomes K into molar concentration of H2O is B plus into OH minus divided BOH. Now these two, if I multiply, I'll be getting Kb, that is the dissociation constant or the ionization constant of a base is equal to the product of molar concentration of the dissociated ions divided by the molar concentration of the undissociated molecule or the base molecule. Okay, so it is B plus into OH minus divided by BOH. Okay, so definition, what is it? It's the ratio of product of molar concentration of the dissociated ions to the molar concentration of undissociated base molecules at a given temperature. And larger the value of Kb, stronger is the base. So if Kb value is higher, that means it's a strong base. Okay, so that's about Ka value and Kb value. Now, how is this Ka and Kb related to one another? We'll understand here. Next, we'll study about the relationship between Ka and Kb, that is the dissociation constant of a weak acid and the dissociation constant of a weak base. How is it related? Ka into Kb is equal to Kw, and we know that Kw is equal to 10 to the power minus 14 at 298 Kelvin, that is at room temperature, standard temperature. So we can also write it as Ka into Kb is equal to 10 to the power minus 14 at 298 Kelvin. Derivation for this relationship, it is not there in your syllabus, thus I will not be doing it. You just have to know that if you multiply the dissociation constant of a weak acid and a weak base for a conjugate acid-base pair, what is it? It should be a conjugate acid-base pair, then it will be equal to 10 to the power minus 14 at 298 Kelvin. Okay, so that's about the relationship. Next is polybasic acids and polyacidic bases. Now, what is the meaning of polybasic acids? I had explained to you all about the basicity of an acid, correct? So, basicity of an acid means how many replaceable hydrogen atoms are there. That is the meaning of basicity of an acid. Now, polybasic acid means these are the acids which can donate more than one H plus ion. Then we call it as a polybasic acids. For example, you can see phosphoric acid, that is we have H3PO4. Okay, it is phosphoric acid in which you can see 1, 2, 3 replaceable hydrogen atoms are there, which is attached to oxygen to form OH bond. Okay, so it is a tribasic acid. Now, if you take phosphorus acid, that is H3PO3. Okay, this is a dibasic acid. That is, even if you have 3 hydrogen atom, only these 2 are replaceable, which is attached to or bonded to oxygen atom. The hydrogen which is directly attached to the phosphorus, this cannot be replaced. Okay, so it is a dibasic acid. One more example what we have is hypophosphorus acid. So that is H3PO2. In this you can see it's a monobasic acid, that is only one hydrogen atom can be replaced, which is attached to the oxygen. The other 2 which is bonded directly to phosphorus cannot be replaced. So it is a monobasic acid. So the acids which can give away more than one H plus ion, we call them as polybasic acids. Okay. Similarly, we have polyacidic bases which can donate more than one OH minus ion. Okay. So next we will learn about their Ka values, that is the dissociation constant values. In polybasic acids, Ka1, Ka2 and Ka3 are first ionization constant, second ionization constant and third ionization constant. And it is found that Ka1 is greater than Ka2 and Ka2 is greater than Ka3. That is, for first ionization high energy is required. That is, for first ionization value is higher, second ionization is little lesser and third ionization is much lesser, because more difficult to remove proton from the negative ion. Why is it so? Because it becomes difficult for removal of H plus ion from the ion which is already having a negative charge. Okay. For example, you can see here H3PO4 gives away one H plus ion to form H2PO4 twice. Sorry, H2PO4 minus, where K1 or Ka1 is 7.5 10 to the power minus 3. Next, if you see H2PO4 minus, that is already an anion. Okay. From this, I have to remove one more H plus ion to form HPO4 2 minus. Ka2, you can see it is much lesser. 6.2 into 10 power minus 8 it becomes. Okay. From a negatively charged ion which has got 2 negative charge, you can see HPO4 2 minus it is. From this, one more H plus ion to remove, it becomes even more difficult and thus the value is very less. Okay. So what is the meaning of this? To remove one H plus ion, it is easy and the dissociation constant is value is higher. It's a strong acid, but then the Ka value goes on reducing as the number of hydrogen atoms or H plus ions are more to be removed from the negative ion. So it becomes a weaker acid after it donates one H plus ion. Okay. So I can also put it in a different way, that is, I can tell that this is a stronger acid compared to this and this one is a stronger acid compared to this. So H3PO4 is a very strong acid, H2PO4 minus is a quite mild acid and HPO4 2 minus is a weak acid because the values are very, very small. Okay. Similarly, you can see here for oxalic acid, for first one it is very easy to remove, but for second one the Ka value is lesser. Similarly, for ascorbic acid, you can see there is a large difference, 10 power minus 4, here it is 10 power minus 12. Sulfurous acid 10 power minus 2 and 10 power minus 8. Sulfuric acid is very large because it's a very strong acid, but here you can see second one it is not that very strong. Carbonic acid difference, citric acid also you can see 3 there are difference, phosphoric acid also there is a lot of difference. Okay. So as it is difficult to remove H plus ion from an anion, the Ka value goes on decreasing. Fine. So that's about polybasic acids and polyacidic bases. Next, we are going to learn about the factors affecting the acidic strength. First one is bond length or size. Now, what happens is, as the bond length increases, it becomes very easy for us to break a bond. And when it is easy to break a bond, so donation of a proton also becomes easy. So what happens, for example, if I take hydrogen and fluoride, hydrogen is small, fluorine is also small, bond length is smaller. Hydrogen is small, chlorine is a little bigger, bond length increases. Hydrogen is small, bromine is quite large, bond length is even more. And hydrogen and iodine, if I take, bond length is the largest. So the bond length becomes more, it is easier to break. It's very easy to break compared to hydrogen fluoride because the bond length is longer, the strength decreases. And when the bond strength decreases, acidic strength increases. Thus, as the size increases down the group, okay, acidic strength also increases because the bond strength decreases. Okay, so that's about the bond strength. Next is about the polarity or the electronegativity. See, as the electronegativity increases in the same row, electronegativity is going on, increases in the same row, then polarity of the substance increases because the electronegativity difference also increases. You can see here carbon, nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine. Fluorine is highly electronegative compared to oxygen, nitrogen and carbon. So as the electronegativity increases, acid strength also increases. Okay, so that's about the two factors which is affecting the acidic strength. Next is about the pH of the solution. Now, what is the meaning of pH of a solution? pH we can calculate using the formula negative logarithm of H plus ion. So, what is it? It is the negative logarithm of molar concentration of H plus ion. Okay, so it is the negative logarithm to base 10 of the molar concentration of H plus ion in a solution. This was proposed by Sorensen. Okay, so this is the formula for pH. Now, what exactly is this pH? If you want to know, you should know about the pH scale. So, what is pH scale? pH scale is a measure of how acidic or basic the solution is. Whether it is an acid or a base, you get to know by using a pH scale. Okay, so pH scales run from 1 to 14. Okay, so 7 pH is the one which we call it as the neutral pH, where at room temperature, for example, water has got the pH 7. It's nor acidic nor basic. Such pH we call it as 7. Below 7 to 1, what is it? Below 7 up to 1, all the solution has got high concentration of hydrogen ion and they are called as acids. So, they have a low pH, then it is acid, and they have got a high concentration of H plus ion. Now, if the concentration of hydrogen ions are less, the concentration of hydrogen ion is very less, H plus ions are very less, then the pH value will be above 7 up to 14, that is the higher pH, and the solution is basic. So, in the pH scale, you have from 14 to 1, 7 is neutral pH, below that we call them as acids, above that we call them as bases. Acids have a high concentration of H plus ion, bases have a low concentration of H plus ion. pH, how can it be calculated? I gave you the formula, pH is equal to negative logarithm, that is to base 10, into molar concentration of H plus ions. Okay. Next, what you need to know is the pH of the common substances. Now, what is in the pH scale, if you see, I told you 7 is neutral, below 7 it is acid, above 7 it is a base. So you can see here, pure water has got neutral pH, milk is acidic, black coffee is acidic, tomato juice, apple juice, lemon juice, gastric juice which is there inside our stomach, you can see it has a very low pH. That means it's highly acidic. Okay, that is almost pH 1. You can see here the pH of the other which is bases, that is egg, baking soda, hand soap, ammonia solution, bleach, concentrated solution of alkalis have got a very high pH, that is they are all bases with a pH above 7 up to 14. That means the H plus ion concentration is less for all these food substances or substances. Okay. So that's about the pH of the common substances which you need to know. What is the pH of blood, do you think? Is it acidic or it is basic? Blood in our body is slightly basic with the pH of 7.4. Okay. So this is one more thing which you need to know, which is not mentioned over here. So next thing is about pOH of the solution. What is pOH of the solution? pOH is equal to negative logarithm of molar concentration of OH minus ion. That is, if a solution can give away OH minus ion, then you can also calculate the pOH. So pOH is equal to negative logarithm of molar concentration of OH minus ion. We also have to note that at 298 Kelvin, pH plus pOH is equal to 14 in a neutral compound or a neutral solution. So in a neutral solution, pH plus pOH is always equal to 14 at 298 Kelvin, and that is pH is equal to pOH, which is equal to 7. Okay. More about the calculation we shall do in the next class. So next class we will learn about how to show or prove that pH plus pOH is equal to 14, and also the ionization constant of a weak electrolyte. And I think we shall also solve some of the numericals. Okay. So thank you, my dear children. I hope you have understood today's class. Stay tuned, stay focused.